So something happens that gets your attention, and because it has your attention, and it doesn't have the attention of your source. Did you get that? If you feel negative emotion, it means it's got your attention, just not the attention or intention of the larger part of you. In other words, when you're feeling afraid, or when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling blameful, you're out there on the raw and ragged edge without the resources of your source, because you are depriving yourself of the full integration or blending of all of that because of the vibrational attitude of whatever it is that you are focused upon. That's what negative emotion always means. So when you get it, that you have control of what you give your attention to, then you know that you can set yourself up for wonderful moments after wonderful moments after wonderful moments. There's no reason for you to dip. But if you believe that your happiness is dependent upon controlling some circumstances that you can't control, so you let the unpleasant circumstances be the reason for your focus, just because you are letting unpleasant circumstances be the reason for your focus doesn't mean that the source within you is letting it, we started to say is dumb enough, but that would be unkind, to let it be the subject of their focus. In other words, when you focus on something that doesn't feel good, it means you've focused yourself apart or away from, in resistance to who you really are. And that, in fact, is the sum total, complete, entire reason for any negative emotion that you feel. You think it's because of the subject of your focus. You think that's why you feel bad. If that would change, I will feel better. That isn't true at all. The reason that you feel bad is because you're using something as your excuse to not allow yourself the blending that must be there in order to feel good. So the primary manifestation that you must look for, if you care about the way you feel, and we know you do, is the manifestation of your orientation with your inner being. In other words, your inner being is who you are. So here's how it works. You were source energy before you came into this physical body. And a part of you came into this personality that you know as you, but the larger part of you remains non-physically focused. It's a fact. Accept it. So here you are, exploring life experience, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, and coming to constant conclusions about what would be better. So you shoot off these vibrational rockets of desire, whether you ever say, I want that, or I would like that, or I prefer that. And of course you say that a lot. But even when you don't say it, your preferences are duly noted by source energy, because that expanding preference moves into what we are calling your vortex of creation. It's just a vibrational version that is the predecessor to all of your wonderful manifestations. And the source within you, who holds no resistance, who understands everything that you want, becomes the vibrational equivalent of it in the moment that you give birth to it. That's why we say step 1 is you sift and sort and ask, and step 2 is source answers. Source literally becomes what you are asking for. But there's another step, and it's really the basis of the body of work that we have been doing with you through these years. And that is, you must find a way to become a vibrational match to not just what you're asking for, but to who you have become because of what life has caused you to ask for. You can't become it vibrationally and not go without feeling bad. So every bit of negative emotion that you have, every bit of it, whether it's negative emotion or whether it's a manifestation that is negative, that is even bigger than the emotion itself, everything that you would call unwanted experience, from emotion right out to whatever the manifestation is always the same thing. It is an expansion that you have not yet completely allowed yourself to experience fully. And when you get that, and when you understand further that all you're reaching for in terms of manifestation, have we won you over with our clever knowledge that the manifestation that you want really is the emotion? So someone said to us one day, Abraham, my body hurts me. How can I feel good when I am in pain? And we said, because you have to separate the physical manifestation from, and we didn't say it to her then, but we would say it to her now, from the emotional manifestation. We said you have to separate what has manifested so far from what's in the vortex. You have to separate the emotion from what you are calling reality, because there's another vibrational reality that you have not fully embraced. And when you do, Your emotion will be one of ease. We went on to explain to her that the vibrational difference between fear and belief is the difference between recovery or not, is the difference between improvement or not. The emotional difference. And now when we further explain that the emotion is the manifestation that you're looking for, if you will get your eye on the manifestation, you see, we knew that she could leave her fear behind this red hot minute, while it was unlikely that she would leave her physical discomfort behind this red hot minute. So we were saying to her, you have a choice. You can have pain in your body and feel hopeful or knowing. And you can have pain in your body and feel fear. But let the manifestation that you're reaching for be the improvement of fear to hope rather than the improvement of pain to no pain. Can you hear that? Because you can't control pain to no pain fast enough, but you can control fear to hope fast enough. You can control that. And when you get that, you've got it all. When you get that, now you are the vibrational, deliberate creator that you were born to be. Do you understand that you are vibration primarily? Yes. Well, if you don't, then let us put it to you in a softer way. Do you believe that you are an emotional being? And you all know that because you live the roller coaster of your life. You know how happy you sometimes feel when people are really, really good. And how angry or awful you feel when people are really, really bad. You know how when they please you, you're pleased, and how when they don't please you, you're not pleased. So you know you have an emotional basis. You just haven't really understood until now what that emotional basis is. And we're here to tell you, the emotional basis is your relationship, how wide the gap is between who you've become and whether you're moving in the direction of who you've become or whether you're holding back or moving in the opposite direction of who you've become. So now we want to talk about where you are. Because where you are, write this down, it's very profound. Where you are, you've been here before. It's still profound. Where you are is where you are. 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 And you have to make where you are all right, because you can't help but be where you are, at least for a moment. Where you are is where you are. So if you give in, if you make peace with where you are, not in an attitude of saying, all right, universe, I give up. I am where I am and I just accept it and I'll just stay here in my discomfort forever. That's not what we mean. We mean, I accept where I am because I have no choice. I accept where I am in terms of manifestation because I have no choice. But because I have an emotional manifestation, I have a choice of how I feel. Now hear the difference in what happens. I accept where I am because it's the starting point of my journey in closing the gap. And since there's always a starting point in where you are in closing the gap in the journey between where you are and where you want to be, what possible difference does it make where you are? It just doesn't matter, does it? Could it matter where you are? Does it matter where you are? So there's some place on the planet you want to go, and you're someplace else. And it doesn't matter how far the distance between those two places of where you are and where you want to go. Do you really writhe in discomfort at the beginning of your journey? Look where I am. Or is your attention upon where you're going? Is it? Is your attention upon where you're going? Now, there may be those who want to go somewhere else who don't think that they can go there. There are people, you might not believe it, who have never left this city. This is as big as their world is. This is all they know. But we're talking about once you've decided that you want to go somewhere, once you've decided there is a paving that has taken place vibrationally and a manifestation that is vibrational that is calling you, that will show you every step along the way which step to take. And if you get that, then from wherever you are to where you want to be, every step along the way is a joyful step. The only moment that it stops being joyful is when you stop and look at where you are in a sort of depression that you're not where you want to be. And that comparison isn't good for you. It would be like going to the new car dealership and saying, I want a new car and I want you to design it especially for me, and I want it to look mostly like that one, but with one exception. You know that glass thing that's out there in front? I think they call it a windshield. You say to the guy, I want my windshield in the floorboard. Don't put it out there. Put it here, because I really am concerned about where I am at all times. So just put it there, and I'll just hope for the best out there. And you're laughing because you know that's silly. You know that you're much better off, if there's any motion happening, to be looking where you're going. But what you forget is that there's vibrational motion happening all the time, and if you're looking at what is, then that's why you don't feel good. That's why you're tripping up. That's why it isn't fun. That's why it doesn't feel good. Look out there where you're going, because where you're going is sure. And you know how we know? Because we're really smart. We are. We know because we're over there where you're going. We saw you put it there. We embraced it when you put it there. We're standing in the vibrational attitude of it. We have become the vibrational equivalent of it, and we are calling you toward it. And when you go toward it, we didn't say when you get there. We're not ever going to say to you, when you get there, you'll feel better. We're saying when you look up and start your journey, your conscious journey toward where you want to go, you'll feel better. It doesn't matter where you are. Where you are, what is, in terms of what you call manifestation, doesn't mean diddly squat. So have we convinced you that manifestation is the way you feel? And have we convinced you that the way you feel is something that is changeable within the next 5 minutes once you know this? Less, really, but it is changeable. So you have complete control over the only manifestation that matters, which is the manifestation of you allowing the fullness of who you are to be present in this moment, because you are the manifester of the manifestation, which is you. You are the one who does it. You are the one who bees it. You are the one who is it. You are the one who are it. You are the manifestation and the creator of the manifestation. And if you've got that, then you've got everything that you need. And we can now return to your vortex and bask in the deliciousness of the rendezvous that we will one day have, maybe today and maybe when you croak. You don't have to wait until you croak to be the manifester of the joy that you have put into your vortex. You can have it now. Best we've ever said it.